All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Planetside 2 training of building layouts and standardized callouts. This training will go over just basically a quick walkthrough of 6 of the most commonly used buildings across all the continents. And buildings you will recognize because we have lots of fights in them from time to time and sometimes in succession from base to the next base to the next base. So we're just going to go over some of the key points of these buildings, things to look out for, things to be aware of, and some just basic terminology that you may hear in comms from your squad leader and not really clear on what they mean. I'm going to go over just brief definitions and examples of such things throughout this training. A copy of this training is on the website. There is a hyperlink in the Planetside Discord. It's in the channel of PS2 members, and you can find that there. It's called Lesson Plan. I'm basically going to be going right through that, just going right from the top right to the bottom, and I will be highlighting sections along the way so that you can pretty much follow along with me, and hopefully that'll eliminate some questions along the way. So the first base that we're going to be going to today is going to be the triple stack building that is at Alpha Waypoint. For members of Bravo, go ahead and load up your Valkyrie. For members of Alpha, go ahead and load up your Galaxy. And pilots, you may move out whenever you're ready. Oh, apparently I lost my Alpha Waypoint. 1 second. When you create a platoon, sometimes that's joined your channel. Alpha Waypoint is to the east. Feel free to move out. All right. So the first building we're going to be going over is called a triple stack. Basically, it's a triple stack because there are 3 levels of the building that you could attack from or defend from. And once we actually get to the base, I'll start walking you through that. We're going to start off on the ground floor, on the outside of the building.
Drop.
Suits you got your bonus check.
All right, now that we have mostly everybody on the ground except for maybe 1 or 2 people that are still running here, this is our triple stack building, Alpha Squad Waypoint. As you can see from the outside, it has 2 floors, and obviously the Galaxy is on the roof. Before we go inside, I do want to show you one little spot, if I could get past this. 1 second. Yeah, just crouch to get underneath the Valkyrie. All right, so the back side of this building, just keep coming around. Follow your platoon lead. Okay, so this is where I wanted to show you. This is the back side of the balcony. If you back up, you'll be able to see the balcony from this position. But basically what I wanted to show you real quick about this is that you could, if you were in the training last week or 2 weeks ago about movement, you heard Helena go over billy goating, and it was one of the methods that was used to get up onto a tower from the outside without going through the stairs, which can sometimes be a kill zone. This is also billy goatable if you do not have these helpful boxes that are next to you, or next to the thing. So you could use those boxes to do a double jump to get on the slanted part, and then you'll be able to get up. If you cannot do that, an engineer can also place down a turret right next to it, and then you can jump onto the turret and then jump up to the slanted part, which will give you an opportunity to then infiltrate the balcony. Again, from jumping from the turret, you have to do a double jump, and once you're on the side, double jump up to the slant. Obviously, light assaults, you can use your boosters, but I'm just giving you another option of getting up there without going in through major doors. So
No
this is just
problemo.
something. So this is just something. Just another way of entry into the building that you might need to be aware of, especially from ground forces. Typically, this building does get assaulted from both ground and air. So if they're coming from ground, that is the sneakiest part you can get in. So moving on to the actual building, if you guys can group up on Hydro, I'm still outside on your side of the balcony, but lower level.
Take some
Alright, so I'm
ammunition.
going to be going inside. Basically, this is the lower level or first floor. First floor typically has anywhere between 2 to 4 doors. You can see on this side of the building there are 2 doors that are open, so these are 2 doors. And on the other side of the building, you'll see there is 1 door. Sometimes there is, I think, a building on Esamir that has a triple stack that actually has all 4 doors open, but it's a minority. They typically have 3 doors, and sometimes they actually have 2. But the norm is 3. So typically one side has 2, the other side has 1. But like I said, I just wanted to outline that there is that one triple stack that does have 4. And it does. We don't really go to that base. I don't remember which base it is, but it's in the minority. Anyway, so when you come in, the lower levels, as you can see, are pretty standard. This is what you'll see in a typical triple stack. You'll see those lockers across on the walls. You may see a desk where Hydro is jumping, and a desk is pretty much just one of these, I guess, little tables. You'll see it over here. This type of building, this type of object that I'm jumping in front of. Sometimes you'll see that object pretty much in the middle, and you can use that for cover. Everything that you first breach into these rooms, use for cover. So whenever we're doing a stacked breach, which was covered in last week's training, these are the objects that you're pretty much going to be looking for so that you could actually get inside the room and actually still stay up while providing cover fire. So again, this is just building on the previous trainings of movement, covering the billy goat stuff, as well as the breaching stuff. When you breach in, you want to look for cover right away so that not only can you stay alive for as long as possible, but you could actually make it into the building and achieve the overall objective, which is making it up to the 2nd floor. So this is going to be the first thing I'm going to go over is on our original entrance, the side with the 2 doors. Now, we already know where the balcony is. So when we came in from the outside, we know the balcony is to our north. So when we're coming inside, these stairs that you see going up to the 2nd floor leads to the open side of the triple stack. This is one terminology that you will hear time and time again. Go ahead and come on up. So when you're on the 2nd level or 2nd floor, we refer to these 2 sides of the building by open and by closed. The difference between open and closed is which provides access to the balcony. So if you could make it outside to the balcony, that is open side. This is what distinguishes the 2 sides. So if you're on the other side and you're looking for the access to the balcony and only have a window that you're looking out at the balcony and being like, oh, well, I'm on the wrong side. Guess what? You're on the closed side. So again, these are the basic terminology that we use to distinguish the 2 sides of the building. Now, as you go up into the 2nd floor, you'll notice that basically what Hydro is shooting at, if I wish I could talk on. Hold on. I'm going to go hands-free for talking for this training, so just bear with me for a moment. Need to set up my keybind.
I've got ammo for you here.
I can't find the push-to-talk setting. Oh, never mind. I'll do it later. Anyway, I'll do it while we're on a galaxy, going from one place to another. Over here, where Hydro is shooting, that is a window space that is obviously closed. If the window was open, it would look very much like the other side, those 2 windows. These are all of these are entry points that I'm going to be pointing out. So obviously, you have the balcony door, so that leads to the balcony. Over by the balcony, you'll see this window in this little space right here. This little area that I'm in right now is called the nook, or if you prefer, a cubby. But the terminology that we use in the triple stack is the nook, because this little spot, you just need a toe hold. If you're coming in through the roof and you drop onto the balcony, you can very easily secure this toe hold, this nook, and provide a base of fire to allow for more forces to come in through the balcony. problem with this nook is that sometimes this window is open and sometimes the window is closed. If the window is open, it is a major danger because a lot of time you'll get light assaults or just people on the ground throwing grenades in here and trying to prevent a defense. So this is a good place to defend from, but you have to be mindful of this window space behind you. If you have a window, you definitely want to keep your head on the swivel. If you don't have a window, you might be able to anchor back in the against the wall a little bit and provide suppression fire to the doorway of the balcony. Grenades are very dangerous in this corner.
I can repair
so
that.
if we're ever assaulting
Reloading.
and the
Cover me.
defending force has a few people back here, grenades are very effective in this corner. So if you throw the grenade, make sure you bank it off the wall, and eventually it'll fall to the ground, it'll go off. It might provide an opportunity for you to press in and just put some bullets down range and hopefully kill your target. So again, I've covered balcony door and I've covered balcony window. I've covered the windows themselves. The last thing I want to go over in this building is the roof access. So the things I want to go over on this, again, is the roof stairs that go up to the roof on the open side are simply referred to as open roof. Why? Because it leads to the roof and it's on the open side. Pretty simple. Not rocket science. If you go across the roof and go across to the other stairs and go down, these stairs lead to the closed side. This is referred to as closed roof. So you don't need to add extra words to the description. They're pretty straightforward. It tells you what it is and where it's going. So roof, closed. Roof, open. You should know where these stairs are and where they're going to go. The
So
last
this is
thing,
closed stairs?
the one that that Hydra is on currently is closed stairs. I'm jumping at it. So if you're looking at Hydro,
Close the roof. Close stairs.
Sorry, closed roof. My bad. Closed roof.
Close stairs over here.
Yes, I did not go over the terminology over the stairs between first and second floor, and for that I apologize. So let me go back downstairs to the first floor. This stairwell that goes up, and we already know where the balcony is. The balcony is technically right above me on this floor. So this stair is going to lead to closed side. So this is just closed stairs because it's going to lead to the closed side. The other ground floor stairs that leads to the open is open stairs because it's a stairway and it leads to the open side. Now on the second floor, before I go up to the roof, second floor and first floor are known to have control points. Sometimes it's on the open side, sometimes it's on the closed side. Same thing with the ground floor. The ground floor has had control points on the open side. I am not aware of, as of this exact moment, if there has ever been a control point on the first floor closed side. I believe it's always been on the open side, but memory is failing me right now, and I think experience will back me up that if it's on the first floor, it's almost always on the open side. But you don't need.
There are some flag repos that are on the close side.
Copy. That was before I made the write-up way before Capture the Flag was installed. So, so there are some repos. Obviously, we have to roll with the punches of new information. The game has changed a little bit, but on the first floor, you don't really need to know closed side and open side so much. It's more important to know on the second floor. If you connect to a balcony, know that you're on the open side. If you don't connect to a balcony, know that you're on the closed side. Now I'm going to go up to the roof. Now roof, as you guys know, is the easiest place to get dropped on from a beacon, from a Galaxy, a Valkyrie, or from a Steel Rain. Odds are they will drop directly onto the roof. A good defense against that is just scattered proximity mines or just an automatic Spitfire from the engineers. You could always have an automatic Spitfire and that'll just alert you. You don't have to stay up here and baby it, but if you hear it going off, then obviously, oh, we got drops on the roof. Let your squad leader know, relay that information, and that way they can make the call to move people up to the roof, to hold people at the roof open or roof closed, and defend from there, or whatever the case may be. The squad leader needs to have that information, and any kind of early detection system that you could set up would be a benefit to the squad leader. The most beneficial, obviously, as I mentioned, are proximity mines. Tank mines aren't that bad, but not so much because honestly we don't get dropped on with too many maxes from time to time, but they can be beneficial. Motion sensors are very good up here from the infiltrator. Recon darts provide movement and allow things to be seen on the radar. And again, if they drop out of the sky and land, odds are they're going to land on the roof. Every now and then you do have some try-hard groups that will land directly onto the balcony. I just jumped over the side and landed on the balcony, guys. So on the balcony, this provides quick access to the point and quick access to engagement.
I've got
Do
ammo.
not be
Ammunition here.
surprised or alarmed if
Take
we
some
do get a gal
ammunition.
drop and all of a sudden they're not hitting the roof. They're coming right through the balcony door. It provides that blitzkrieg shock value of people not paying attention. So that's why it's very important that you always have somebody watching the balcony doorway. Another good thing for the defense is just to have an engineer with an anti-infantry turret, kind of like what Hydro just set up, and just have them watching the nook as well as the balcony door, and that'll prevent and give a good initial defense to any kind of penetration on the second floor from that point of view. Obviously, hard light barriers, proximity mines, anything and everything that is in your arsenal by class is going to provide a benefit in some way, aspect, shape, or form to the defense of this building. Now, I don't really want to spend a lot of time on each individual building. Most of us are familiar with all these buildings in one shape or one form or shape, but I will go ahead and open up to questions. Just brief questions. If you have something that terminology that I went over, or positionally, or something that I missed that you think may be of value to the outfit as a whole, by all means, go ahead and ask me now. That'd be great.
Well, I don't have any questions, but I do have something to point out. So,
King
the
August,
yellow
go ahead and
lines-
platoon.
Oh, platoon. So, the yellow lines, I was told this by another outfit, they're actually good indicators for the head distance. So, like, the top half of it is where the head usually sits, and the bottom is usually where it sits when someone's crouched.
Yellow lines? What yellow lines are you referring to?
On
Along
base.
the walls.
Oh, the yellow lines on the walls. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
so when you're crouched, it's usually at the bottom. When you're standing, it's up at the top.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it provides a rough estimation of where the headshots are, and that is very accurate. Well, not extremely accurate, but it is a good hip fire target. The bottom of the yellow line, once again, if you didn't hear and understood, where Hydro is shooting on the wall by the open roof. This yellow line, if you shoot towards the top end of that, that is typically where the head will be, or at least close enough that you will do some increased damage, because we all know in Planetside 2, headshots rule the day. If they're crouched, you want to shoot towards the bottom half, the bottom edge of that yellow line. You may be off, but you'll be close enough that you'll be able to aim towards them and see where your shots are missing or shooting, and provide bullets to their target. Good observation. Thank you for pointing that out. Helena, I believe you queued up as well?
I did. I don't want to slow us down or step over anybody, but one of the things, I'm good on the second floor, open, closed. I always struggle with the open and closed lobbies downstairs. To keep it simple in my mind, do I have it correct in that it's the opposite of the upstairs? So we're walking down to the open lobby right now?
It is the opposite to the downstairs. So no, the lobby that Hydro's in currently is actually the closed side, because right above us is the closed second level. The closed first floor leads to the open of second floor, and vice versa for the other side.
So is it the opposite or not? You said the closed?
Got it. So
first floor?
base the first name, lobby off of the second floor name.
Correct. So
Got it.
where we are right now, where the majority of the platoon is the closed first floor. We don't typically call it that. We don't refer to the first floor by closed and open side, but knowing what it leads to is the important thing. So if you're coming in on this side and it leads to the open second floor, which is what we do term this the second floor, that's the important thing. What are good beacon spots? I'm seeing that in chat. If you take a quick look at Hydro, I'm heading up to the roof on open. So obviously the stairwell of open and closed roof are good spots, and you could put a sky shield, one of those personal sky shields, to protect the beacon. But if you come over the corner of where Hydro is, there it should be a little ledge right below me. There is, good. Belhade and Arazine are right there. This is great when you have an initial defense already established inside the building and you're protecting typically from exterior defenses. Or if you're coming in and attacking from the outside. If you get a light assault or someone really good at proficient at billy goating, get a beacon right on this corner and that will always provide access to this building from the outside. Problem is, if we're defending and we put our beacon up there, it could very easily get killed and destroyed without us knowing, unless you have a light assault that's constantly checking that or somebody that's looking over the rail. But if you're looking over the rail, you're making yourself a target, and before you could actually get it and check on the beacon, you're probably going to get shot. And hopefully if you get shot, you survive, but you might die and not actually get to check on the beacon. So.
I'll just throw out the opposite side of the building has another very rarely used beacon spot on the angled corner. There's a tiniest little ledge that hold a beacon. Hardly ever check.
And are you referring to the corner where Hydro is currently?
No, right here where Belhade's standing. Babos.
Okay, I see Belhade on the second floor. Copy. Belhade, if you look to Belhade's left, I'm on the second floor on the ledge. This is also a good spot to put a beacon as well. Anytime you can put a beacon on the ledge where it's not covered by the second floor, the roof ledge is a good spot. And there's a few places on the triple stack that you could always find your way onto and get those beacons up there.
That was all me. Sorry.
Any questions for any of this stuff?
I've got ammo for you here.
All right. Not hearing anything else. Let's go ahead and load up our transports.
Ammunition here.
I believe we lost our
Got extra
Callouts.
ammunition here.
Did we lose the Valkyrie? Oh no, they're on the north side. So everyone head north. Alpha squad way is where the galaxies are, roughly. The next target we're going to be heading to is Alpha Diamonds, but Bravo cannot see that. It is marked now currently Alpha Way. Alpha Way is to our west side. We'll be heading that way.
I don't drive my car that crazy.
So again, guys, I know I'm kind of brushing over these bases, but we've all fought in these bases before, and we've all fought there not just once, twice. We have fought there multiple times. I just want to make sure that the key takeaway from the triple stack is that you understand when you're on the second floor, know the difference of which side you're on. Open or closed. Open connects to balcony, closed does not. Stairs that lead up to the roof is roof, and then whatever side you're on, roof open or roof closed. That's the key takeaway for that building is what I want you to make sure you remember. All right, just waiting for everybody to kind of dismount on this building that I've placed here, that we're Alpha Way. I'm heading down to the first floor,
Ammunition here.
and I'm heading down to the exterior of the first floor. So this building that we've just dropped on and landed at is called the Powerhouse
I've
Building.
got ammo for you here.
You will hear that in open platoons, sometimes running with other outfits, and sometimes by our own squad leaders. This is the Powerhouse. The Powerhouse is one of the unique buildings that is sometimes connected to another building, most namely the Crescent Building by way of a bridge. And it's usually two bridges from the second floor that lead to that Crescent Building. I'll go over that once we're inside and once we're on the second floor. But on the exterior, what I want to make you aware of is these three doors. The door that has the caltrop on it that Hydro is shooting. the door that's in the middle on this side that Hydro is shooting above, and the door on the left, right next to the putrid water swamp river, that Hydro is shooting above as well. These 3 doors are usually all open. There are times that some of those doors are closed and just they're shuttered. Most notably is on Amerish, the middle base Araxicom network substation. Anyone want to check me on that? Amerish, the middle one is
Network hub.
Network hub. Okay. So Araxicom Network hub is the one in the middle. That has door number 2 open, which I'm going to run over right now. Door number 2 is the one that Hydro is at right now, shooting bullets above the doorway. The doors 1 and 3, the one on the right and the one on the left, those are closed. So to get inside this building from the first floor, the only way in is through door number 2, which is, again, the one that Hydro is standing at. Or you can run all the way around the left side and then approach it through Skinny Door, which I will go over in just a moment. But the key thing that I wanted to point out to these doorways on the exterior is that these doors, if they're open, can very easily be suppressed by enemy vehicles on the outside. So whether we're on offense, we could do that. We could suppress the inside and just shoot shells inside. Well, no matter what kind of gun you have, whether it be a Basilisk, a Bulldog, a Fury, a Halberd, doesn't matter. Whatever weapon you have on a vehicle, you can suppress the inside from the outside using your vehicle gun. Now, if you're on the inside, and Hydro's going to now walk inside. If you're on the inside, do not be on the first floor, because they can be easily farmed from the outside from ground vehicles. Makes pretty much sense. It's pretty logical in my opinion. So now, from where Hydro is standing, I am standing on this stairwell. As you can look, this stairwell is pretty wide. This stairwell is called, or stairway, is called Fat Stairs. Because in comparison, if you follow Hydro now, go up the stairs and go all the way to the other end of this hallway, you're going to see another stairwell. But it is not as wide. It is quite skinny compared to that other stairway. So this stairway is called Skinny Stairs. The one that I was originally on, that I'm running back to right now, is called Fat Stairs. That's how you'll hear them referred to, and just be aware there is a difference. Skinny is roughly half the size of Fat Stairs. Fat Stairs, you could fit 4 maxes going from shoulder tip to shoulder tip, and you could walk 4 maxes straight up on Fat Stairs. Skinny, you could walk up 1 max, and maybe a helper, maybe an engineer with them. But on Fat Stairs, you could fit 4 maxes, no problem, side by side, and just literally just walk up the stairs with the maxes. With our maxes, we have the shield. It makes for a great push if you could be coordinated amongst multiple squads. Doing it with 1 squad is quite hard because you are devoting quite a bit of your squad as max units. But if you have 2 or 3 squads and you could coordinate between them, you could line up 4 maxes and just come in with the max shield and just literally walk up the stairs, have engineers right behind them, and just healing them. So that makes for a great breach if you're planning on breaching Fat Stairs using that kind of tactic. I'll go more into that a little bit later. Now, while I'm on this stair, I'm looking at the doorways that are on the first floor. The one that Hydro is standing and jumping at currently, this is door 1. Door 1 is right next to Fat Stairs. There's no variation in every powerhouse building. When you're on Fat Stairs and you're looking at this doorway where I'm jumping, this is known as door 1. The one that is directly opposite of Fat Stairs, the wall, it's on the opposite wall of Fat Stairs. This one where Hydra is jumping currently, this is door number 2. Door number 2. The last doorway that I'm jumping at now, this is door number 3. This is really the only building across all the different buildings that we'll ever put you in that you actually really need to know the door numbers. When we say there's going to be a breach door 1, you need to know which of these 3 doorways, which are very different, and come from different directions, you need to know which way you got to point your gun and be ready to defend. Door 2, same thing. You need to know where they're coming from, so that way you can point your gun in the right direction and not kill friendlies if you're aiming at the wrong door. So again, this is the only building across all of the different buildings that you actually really need to know the door numbers. They go from left to right, as I'm on the fat stairs right now looking at them. Left to right, door 1, door 2, and then door 3. Alright, going up the stairs, and I'm heading over to skinny stairs since I covered that real quick. I'm jumping over the barrier and I'm heading down skinny stairs. This doorway that you see over here is very simple. We don't name it the door number 4.
Take some ammunition.
It's just too many doorways. We want to keep things nice and simple for you. This is skinny door because it leads to skinny stairs. It provides access to skinny stairs, so we name it skinny door. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The only other thing I want to cover about ground floor is that you sometimes do have cabinets. Sometimes you have these boxes, these crates that Strangelove is on. There is sometimes a point, like on this base. There is sometimes a control point on the first floor. Sometimes it's on the second floor. Where you see VTS Nook right now in the corner, right next to skinny stairs, that is an outstanding place for a light assault if you're attacking and you can't get up to the second floor. A light assault standing in that position could very easily use their booster packs, get up to the top of the stairs, throw a C4, clear away from all the defenders, and just try to open that way in. So that is a very dangerous spot. If you're defending skinny stairs, be mindful that there may be a light assault that may be trying to do that and throw up a C4 up there to open the way, or just to farm some kills. It's very effective. It's very annoying. Be very aware of it. First floor, there really aren't that many defendable positions. There are some crates and decor, like little tables and whatnot, that you'll be able to use for cover, but not really for defense. The difference between cover is that it's momentary. You'll use it for a little bit of time. Defense is where you're going to actually defend and then be in that fight for an extended period of time. Now, the time frame I'm using to explain this is roughly 30 seconds. So if you're only going to be there doing a little bit of defense for 30 seconds, I would consider that cover, because you can hide behind it and cover. Just make sure that you're concealed. You're not going to get shot. Now, if you have an actual a hard light barrier in between these boxes, you have anti-infantry turrets, maybe a max in tow, then I would say, yeah, you could defend it. But again, you are highly susceptible on the first floor from vehicle gunfire. Whether you're on the right-hand side, you could be shot from door number 2 or door number 1. If you're on the left-hand side of the control point, where Kabalbo is, you could be shot by door number 2 or door number 3. If you're behind these crates, you could be shot in the back by Skinny Door. So, first floor is not the ideal position to defend this building from. It can be done. Don't get me wrong. It can be done. It's just very hard to do successfully. One thing before we go upstairs, I do want to make a point of door number 3 specifically. Door number 3, it's very easy to poke your head in if we're attacking and trying to get inside this building, to spam the heck of your grenades in this doorway and throw them up towards Fat Stairs. Odds are Fat Stairs is guarding door 1 or door 2 or even door 3 itself. But if this is the door that has the best angle to provide your grenade spam, you could aim them at the back wall and they'll bounce and maybe land on the platform between the two parts of the stairs, or all the way up at the top level of the stairs where the double doors are. But this is the ideal position to throw grenades in. So if you're leading a breach team and you get ready for your countdown, you should be throwing your grenade spam up onto those Fat Stairs, whether it be the first platform where Anton is, or on the upper level where VTS is. You definitely want to be throwing your grenades in that direction. Oh, another thing about first floor, infiltrators. Infiltrators, as you know, can be the bane of our existence. An infiltrator that knows how to play infiltrator very sneakily could very well hide in the corner between doors 1 and 2 and be very effective at back shots and killing people that are unaware or people that just don't know to clear their corners before they infiltrate the room. Same thing could be said about door 3, or between door 2 and door 3. Infiltrators in this corner as well, with people coming in door 3 or people coming in door 2, can be very successful at getting back shots, back stabs, and just basically people that don't clear their corners, they're going to be easy targets for that infiltrator. It doesn't really work out well for other classes just because you don't have the cloak. So, yes, you could get a few kills, but I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to expose our medics, and I'm not sending, me personally as a squad leader, I'm not going to send a medic into a prime kill zone just to res a person that shouldn't be down here in the first place. Unless you're an infiltrator. And if you're an infiltrator, I'm making sure the medic throws a resonate. I'm not sacrificing my medic down there. Alright, so that covers the first floor. So going up to second floor. Second floor, this hallway that we're in right now is pretty much just referred to as hallway. Sometimes there's a control point on here. I know on Amerish, the base up top, North Point? Yeah, North Point I think it is. Has a control point on the second floor right in this hallway, pretty much right where, underneath Bellhade, basically. Most bases, when they have a control point, will have the control point in this wide room, and usually right in the middle, where Hydro is shooting on the ground. That's typically where the control point will be. So once again, the terminology here is going to be the hallway, which is pretty much the hall that leads from skinny stairs to fat stairs. And then you have a set of double doors that leads into this big room. This big room doesn't really have a name that I've labeled it or I've ever heard people call it. It's just the room with the double doors. And when we refer to the double doors, they're not talking about the interior double doors. They're talking about the exterior, the ones that go outside. So you have double door left and double door right. I've never heard it called double door left and right outside of TG. But be aware that sometimes they will call it double door left, double door right. Or maybe they'll call it 1 and 2, typically going from left to right. But in this training, I'm not going to call them that. Just be aware they're double doors, and they lead to the outside.
So only the part of the room...
That's kidding.
Sorry, before Goblin stepped on you, say again?
So only the part of the room next to the doors is called doubles?
This room where Hydro's in, or you're talking about the hallway?
So in this room, yeah, that you're in, and only this area next to the doors is called doubles. The whole room isn't called that.
Yeah, yeah. If we're on defense, say we're taking this point and we're controlling a point, which is downstairs, we'll have a fire team or maybe a whole squad protecting doubles. So the whole room is called doubles. And if we're getting shot at from the outside, the squad leader may refer to the left doorway as doubles left.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I was trying to say. Sorry, I wasn't clear. My apologies. And on the outside from doubles. Now, this is the tricky part. When you come outside to the outside of doubles, this building is one of the very few buildings that actually gets connected sometimes to another building, as I was mentioning it earlier. The most common building it gets connected to is a crescent building, which I will go over. That is pretty much the next building that we're going to be heading to. It's the one that's a half circle, and it gets connected to that building by way of bridges. There's usually a bridge that's on doubles left and a bridge on doubles right, and it connects to the crescent building. I'll go over that a little bit more in detail once we get to the crescent building, so that way you have some context. But just know that the powerhouse is a standalone, and it can be connected to another building. It's the building that gets most used to be connected to another building. The only other part I did not cover about the powerhouse is the roof, and it's probably the most important part of the powerhouse because it is the weak point to this building. You could get gal dropped from there, and once you get gal dropped, you have a total of 6 different doors that you could choose to drop into. You could drop through doors 1, 2, 3. You could drop at skinny door, or you could come down into the double doors from the roof. So just because you got gal dropped does not mean you know which door they're going to choose. Odds are they're probably going to choose the path of least resistance, but who are you to say that this doorway is more easily accessible than that doorway? You don't know. That's why you need to have eyes on each doorway and be aware of that. Having a light assault or an infiltrator with motion sensors or recon darts is invaluable in this building because of the fact that a light assault can take care of any beacons on the roof as well as place your beacons on the roof. Or if he's a really great light assault, they'll place it on the antenna, and it's even more out of reach. So having a light assault when you're at a powerhouse is definitely, I would recommend. And having an infiltrator here as well, just because of all the access points into the building, might be valuable as well to have in your squad, so that way you could have those recon darts and motion sensors going. And yeah, not to mention, Goblin mentioned that infos can kill beacons too. Everybody can kill beacons, but the light assault really shines at this building, just because the weak point of this building is the roof. Just because once you get on the roof, it's up to the squad leader that's attacking as to which door they're going to choose. So knowing that that's the weak point of the building is the roof, hopefully will allow the squad leaders and the members to be a little bit more aware that if we put you on a guard duty to watch doubles, it doesn't mean just stand behind a crate. It actually means actively watch the door. If we put you on skinny, don't just stand there and just talk or do whatever. Actually keep an eye on the skinny doorway. There are too many doorways to cover for just one squad leader's set of eyes. We need the help of the squad, and this is where you guys come into play and can really help out your squad leader. Okay, so that pretty much covers this building. I'm going to go ahead and move on, but I am going to give an opportunity to provide any feedback on this building. Anything that you guys think I missed, I did not cover, or anything that you think might be a benefit to bring up to the outfit at large.
Yeah, I don't know if he mentioned it, but you can climb up this wall.
I'm looking around for you.
I'm on the roof.
But how?
I'll show you. Oh, it worked for me a second ago.
That might be in the Billy Goat. Yeah, you might have to. It might be. Some walls are able to be scaled, but you have to do a whole bunch of double jumps, and you can't be running. And I'll just let that be just known. That
Also, just keep in mind if you're doing these moves with a squad, the idea is everyone gets the move done roughly the same time, and there's no stragglers. So just keep that in mind with moves like this. And
yeah,
also
that.
Just
Let me heal you.
go ahead.
No. I was just going to echo that. Yeah, that might be great for when you're doing a little bit of solo play, or if you're given a solo task. That might be great. And some walls and some building walls are you can Billy Goat and get your way up on them and get over them. But when you're trying to lead a whole squad to infiltrate a building, you don't want to rely on things that take a little bit of finesse and that may take a little bit longer to get the whole squad there. Typically, the entry points that I covered, the doorways or the roof access or roof drops, are going to be the primary way of getting into this building. Any other questions or comments or concerns about this building?
Just comment, infill, EMP grenades are fantastic at clearing this roof of beacons. They're also fantastic for EMPing your whole squad and getting them killed. So if you do buy infill on one of these, be aware of that. Think before you EMP to kill a roof beacon. It does hit your squad.
Yes, and contrary to like the triple stack building, where you could have prox mines on the roof that will actually provide a deterrence, I honestly have not found that prox mines or a motion sensor specifically on the roof really provides that much awareness or that much benefit. I would honestly just rather keep those deployables on your person, and that way you could protect doorways from the inside, or the doorways put a mine on the outside or something, things like that. Darts are the way to go for this building. Anything that has more than 3 ways in, darts are gonna be your savior.
Nothing here in Bravo.
All right.
Let's say,
go ahead.
real quick, look at FATs.
Ammunition
There's one major thing that plays in both attacking and defending that I set up on FATs.
Ah, good point.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, very good point. Okay,
Yes.
so you guys see the individual sky shield that we have as a tactical slot. Know that from the inside, when you're inside and you see an enemy sky shield like this, heavy assault, you can momentarily disable that just by shooting rockets into that. Know that if you do that, it provides a brief moment for you to pop your head out and shoot it from the outside. Same thing. I wouldn't send less than 3 or 4 people to knock that out if it is that problematic. Disabling it just for a little bit may be good to suppress the initial push that you're getting. But if it's a sustained push that happens like every 15, 20, 30 seconds, and it's providing a lot of cover for people to get behind the box where Hydro's jumping at, and to get cover and to actually set up some kind of offensive layover, a little toehold.
I've got ammo for
Sometimes
you.
the medic could be back there. Sometimes a heavy assault protecting the medic. If that becomes problematic, you may be wanting to take out that sky shield. If you do decide to take out that sky shield, I would not send one person by themselves, because the odds of that one person succeeding taking out the squad shield and getting back inside alive are extremely, extremely low. In EMP, I believe, we'll also disable it for a little bit of time. But the best way to take care of it is obviously just come outside, pop a few shots into it, and then get back inside, and that way we don't have to expose our medic too long.
I believe you need to get the EMP under the canopy in order to disable it. I think it won't go through the effect won't go through the top of the canopy, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, yeah, I would never recommend throwing an EMP on top of it, because it's just going to literally go across it and end up on the other side of the canopy. So, sorry. Sorry for not clarifying that. Yeah, any grenades that I had a canopy should always be underneath it. My bad.
But EMPs are contact, but yeah.
And where to place if you want to put your own on it.
And if you are attacking and you're on the outside, usually on the powerhouse building, you will see this kind of setup. I guess you could call these steam pipes, maybe? I don't really know what these pipes are. But there's usually a platform right above them, or sometimes this is just a flat square. But you want to place your sky shield right at the edge, right at the corner of the platform. Not on the pipes, and not further back towards the corner. You want to place it right where it ends, basically right where this one is placed. It provides great access to provide that nook, so that you could actually get a medic into that corner, and that way that medic could do heals on anybody helping to breach, or keep that heavy assault that's keeping the medic up, so that way you could actually get a toehold and actually get in. Great oversight. Thank you for bringing that up, Balbo. Very valuable to know. Very valuable to know. Anything else from anyone else?
Turrets on skinny stairs is also a really good way to defend it.
Turrets, yes. The engineer having
Yes.
turrets pointed down here, anti-infantry. Definitely a lot better than just standing there with your gun. Same thing with the hard light barriers. Basically, all the different classes have something that can contribute in every building that I'll be taking you guys through. Just know that when you're here, try to make use of all your class abilities, whether it's your tactical slot or whether it's your actual class ability, mainly your engineer, your infiltrator. Light assaults have their jump packs, things like that.
Got extra
Heavy assaults are
ammunition
pretty
here.
straightforward. They only have a personal shield, so that's just great versus 1v1. Medics have the radial heal. If you're going to be a medic and use that radius heal, a great place for you to stand would be in the doorway of these the interior double doors. You will be able to cover to halfway of fat stairs, if not further. And if you can't reach them from there, you can just take a quick step outside, do a little spot heal with your medic tool, and get right back into safety. If you're a
I'll get
medic,
you
you
fixed
should
up.
not be out there
I'll start
defending past
repairs.
stairs. You should be recessed back a little bit further, halfway down the hallway, or in the doorways between doubles and the hallway.
I'd also like to ask, like, not specifically this building, but in what situations would it be worth the risk to just try to heal someone and put yourself in danger?
I'll get you fixed up.
That really depends on the size and the aggression of the enemy force. I've seen medics that are just superstars, and I've seen medics that should be able to go out there and heal, and for whatever reason they die one step outside of their cover. So it really depends. It's situational.
I can heal you.
Any other topics before we move on to the next building? All right, load up your vehicles. Vehicles are over by Alpha Squad Way to our southwest. Make your way there. The next building we'll be heading to is Alpha Fire Team Hearts, which is now labeled Alpha Waypoint. It's over to the east side. Ooh, scratch that, wrong building. Alpha Way is getting moved to your north to Alpha Spades. So Alpha is all the way up north. It's in enemy territory. Gunners be on alert. Do not engage unless fired directly at and connected. So if they just fire at you, try to refrain. But let's try to get in there, and so that way we can cover this building.
Does anyone know what can cause an alert to trigger while the gun is not open?
That is incredibly strange. Why are we in alert?
That confused me as well.
I posted on the Discord about it. No one's responded.
I mean, there are 3 maps open.
Yeah, you're right. That's incredibly weird.
So, if you take a look at the timer, the northeastern base Bridgewater shipping yard was capped 27 minutes ago, basically, and there's about that's about how much time has elapsed since the alert started, so it might just be touching the enemy market.
Huh.
No proof of it, just a coincidence.
I'm pretty sure that's it. I've read that in the patch notes a while back.
Huh. Remind me to do that at some point to get rid of Osho. I don't want to play it.
That's why you don't shoot my guns.
Got it?
My apologies.
Oh, it's in
I did say refrain from firing. Alpha Way's drop zone. Go ahead and drop.
Okay, so this is what I thought it was. I was so confused what Crescent was. I now know what it is.
People do refer to it as banana building as well.
Okay, so I'm on the second floor on the bridges, which is on the east side. Okay, so as you can see, if I run completely east and run into this building, guess what building this is? The one that we just left, the powerhouse building. The most frequently connected to the powerhouse, as I mentioned, is usually through 2 bridges, kind of like just like this. And it connects to the next building, which is commonly called Crescent Building. As someone mentioned, it's sometimes called as Banana, sometimes it's called Half Moon. We're going to call it Crescent just for uniformity. It looks like a crescent moon, and that's where the name comes from. Okay, so the weak point on this building is the balcony. Balcony can be accessed both from exterior. I'm outside, guys, on the balcony. It's on the west side. So the balcony could be easily accessed from the roof and easily accessed from first floor exterior. First floor exterior, you could get a light assault, jump over the side, and create some havoc. If you drop on the roof, you can just immediately drop onto the second. You can not only place a beacon on the roof, and that'll provide drop pods to every part of this building, but it also provides access to the balcony, which is the easiest way into this building and the easiest way to break a defense. The problem with this building is because once you break the balcony defense and actually get into the second floor, you have full control of this building, even if you don't have control of first floor. The reason why you have complete control of this building is because you now provided access to this building in 5 different ways. 3 balcony doors that we just came through, and the 2 doors that are on the bridge. That is the most entries into this building. Even though first floor is a lot easier to get in with the two doorways on the first floor, they're usually very defended. When you have to cover more targets as a defense, it makes it a lot harder to defend. Does that make sense to everyone? The problem is getting inside the second floor.
No problemo.
So that's where the problem is. So if you're able to get into the second floor balcony, know that once you breach into the second floor interior, this is how you control this building. This is where your major fight should be. If you're having a major fight on the first floor, just know that the first floor defense can be very easily broken through the second floor. Okay, so I kind of went out of order on this building, and I do apologize for that. The roof provides beacons, and also light assault can get back up there and destroy the beacons. You don't need any kind of first primary alert system here. You don't really want an automatic Spitfire or tank mines or proximity mines up there, or any kind of recon darts really. If an enemy force is already on the roof, odds are whatever you have up there is going to die within the first like 10-15 seconds of them being up on that roof. The only real benefit would be the beacon. So that would be the only thing I would really kind of stress on the roof. The roof provides great mobility. It gives you access to all 5 doors on the second floor. So if you're looking to control this building, coming from the top is the best way, but it is the hardest way. You need a steel rain or you need an airdrop to get on there. So that's why most teams usually go for the first floor. The Crescent building sometimes has a control point on the second floor. Not very often, but it does exist. I can't remember what base it is, but I know there's a control point on one of the second floors of Crescent building. I just can't remember.
There's a TR guy here.
Heal you.
I'm on the minimap and it's at 6%. There's a guy here.
Copy that. Thank you. Let's try to refrain from shooting.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, let's just try to refrain from shooting or doing any kind of voice macro stuff. Keep our profile really low. All right, we're moving down to the first floor real quick. First floor is more common to have a control point. This base doesn't have a control point in this building, but know that there's a control point sometimes right here where Hydra is shooting on the ground, and sometimes, very infrequently, where you see this wall, there is actually another part of the building, which I was not aware of, that there was a wall here. There's another part of this building that is on the other side of this wall, where there's usually a gun, not a gun that we could fire, but more of a decor gun. Can I get around to the other side? I'm wondering.
Enemy heavy spotted.
Over there?
No.
It's
Okay.
boxed
To
in.
the west, there's a guy.
It's fine. He's just friendly.
He's just there. Don't shoot him. Don't need to.
Alright,
Got extra
So
ammunition
anyway,
here.
yeah, on the other side of
Ammunition
this wall, there's usually a decor gun, and there's usually a nook on the right-hand side, kind of where Hydro is shooting.
Enemy spot.
And I'm going to show you that back at Batol. If we start getting notorious here to fight us, I'll drop us back
Let me
to
heal
friendly
you.
lines and show you a Crescent building in friendly territory. But I just wanted to take you up into this area. Anyway, so the first, the nook is a great place to hide and to defend
use a
from.
ride.
It's usually right next to a big giant gun, and there is
Enemy
sometimes a
heavy
control
spot.
point on
Mistake.
that side. More typically, you'll see the control point over on this side, the south side, right over here where Hydro is shooting, and that's typically where you want to control, take your control point. Defendable positions. Entry points. So you have 2 doorways. That's typically the only way into the first floor. Usually one on the north side, one on the south side, or one on the west side, or
Eyes
one on the east
open,
side,
enemy heavy.
depending which way the Crescent building is facing.
Stay alert. Enemy
But
heavy
those are the
nearby.
only 2 ways into a Crescent building from the ground floor. So just be aware of that. It is more easily accessible, but it's more easily defendable. So you can just line up a whole bunch of people on the ground floor, not much cover, but you can't have lots of people with lots of guns pointing all in 2 directions, one doorway or the other doorway. So it's easy to defend this. That's pretty much it I want to cover on this, I think. Stairwell. A stairwell is a good place to kind of if you want to flex, be able to respond to the first floor or respond to the second floor. The stairwell might be a good place to be, but be aware that you can get shot from multiple different angles. You could get shot from the ground floor doorways. You could get shot from the second floor top of the stairs. You could be shot from the railing on the second floor. It's not the most ideal, but it can be done, especially if you're right up next to the railing towards the top side and crouched. It can be done. You can defend up here. It just wouldn't be my first choice. As you can see, there's really not that much decor in here. Not many. There's a few cabinets along the sides of the wall. Not really much in the middle. But like I said, this provides good cover and not much defense per se. And that's pretty much all I really want to cover here. I mean, there's sometimes a generator in this type of building. So there might be other things. There might be a control flag, a receptacle, or a flag in this building. But that's pretty much it.
Sometimes there's an elevator here instead of this bridge.
Yeah, sometimes there's an elevator at the bottom of the stairs on the first floor. That elevator is pretty much at right where this cabinet is on the first
I think the
floor.
biolabs all have it.
Yep. I was gonna say that all the biolabs have this building.
Also, keep in mind some of the
They're in
cabinets. Sorry. Also, keep in mind that on the first floor, at the base of the first floor, when there is a cabinet, one thing that the designers kind of overlooked. Some of these cabinets you could actually get behind and provide yourself a little bit of cover. If you see there is a little gap behind it, take advantage of that. It'll protect you from all ground fire on the first floor, obviously, unless you get seen back here, and you'll be able to guard stairs, and you can also pop out to provide fire to either of the suppressing doors. So that's pretty much it on that. Any questions about any of these things?
So when you said that using darts in here isn't...
Platoon.
Oh, sorry. I need to remember that. So when you said using darts in here isn't useful, do you
On the
mean
roof.
putting them on the roof?
Yeah,
Okay,
on the roof
so,
itself.
Okay.
No, the darts are always a good thing in any building, but on the roof specifically, I meant that having proximity mines, tank mines, motion sensors, recon darts on the roof itself really don't provide that much of a benefit. You'd probably get more benefit from holding your deployables so that you can use them on the inside, and just to defend the doorways, or that's pretty much it. Doorways.
Dart on the ceiling's good though.
Yes, having darts on the ceiling is very good.
Because for some reason they see through the ceiling, which doesn't make any sense, but we have no complaint.
Any other points? Any other questions about the Crescent building, guys?
Yeah, I'll just add on. Pretty much all Crescent and Bridge configurations have the same viewing angles. So one of the doors is going to be better for breaching Powerhouse from, because it's less seen from the Powerhouse doors. And then the other door is better to shoot from, because you get a better view of both of the Powerhouse double doors. If that makes sense.
True.
If you want to push the bridge, you don't want to be seen from the double doors. If you want to shoot the double doors, you want to be able to see across the bridge.
Correct.
So in this case,
so in this example, the south side is where you would want to provide gunfire to, because you can see both doors, and you can suppress while you push from the northern door. Am I interpreting that correctly, Baba?
Exactly.
Thank you. So yeah, and the reason why you want to shoot from the southern door is because you can see both of the double doors of the Powerhouse, so that way you can provide suppression fire to both doors. And meanwhile, your breaching team, the team that's actually going to infiltrate the Powerhouse, they should be going across the northern bridge. And once they're across, then obviously pull your people that are from covering the south side, pull them up to the northern bridge, or if the team that infiltrated was able to secure the Powerhouse, then just they'll let you know and you can just run across. Any other questions, comments, or concerns about this building? All right, let's move out to our galaxies. They're in the north by Alpha Waypoint. since we're about halfway through the buildings, I just wanted to go out of my way to let everybody know thank you for coming out to the training. This is my first one with Tactical Gamer, and it's been a pleasure so far, and I expect it to be a pleasure continuing moving forward. And thank you again for coming out and taking the time just to go refresh your memories of things and just being aware of little things that I think might be important for you to know.
Woohoo, and bravo! Thank you. Well done.
Next location, we're going to be heading down south to Platoon Waypoint. Try not to fly directly over the middle of the map, Gurney Dam, which is Alpha Waypoint, which is also Bravo Waypoint. Avoid that like the plague. We will get shot down, so pilots avoid that. And again, guys, there are plenty of other little things and plenty of other types of buildings in this game. The reason why I chose these 6 buildings is because, again, of frequency of use. Not frequency of controlling points or having a flag or having a capture the flag receptacle, or because it seems like we're fighting at one of those every time, or not because of any of those reasons. Just sheer of frequency use in the game. So while some other buildings may provide a really great fight, I may not have covered it in this training. Or I may not cover it in this training. Because that style of that building design, honestly, may be a great one to fight at, but it doesn't get used that often. How many times have we fought in a basic chevron building, which, to give some context, would be Howling Pass on Indar, the 8-point building, which is on the west side of that base. That base we're constantly at, and that building is a simple little chevron. It's a long side, one floor, and a short side on the other floor. We fight there all the time, but honestly, you don't see that type of building used as frequently as the 6 that I'm going to be going through. Yes, we would call that building a chevron. All right, next building we're going to be going into is Platoon Waypoint building. When you're over, go ahead and drop out. This building is the most basic of basic buildings. It is a box. How I like to think of it, it is an automatic death box because there is no safety in this place at all. The best you could hope for is moving from cover to cover to provide just momentary cover and safety for yourself from a majority of your threat directions. But everywhere you go in this building, as you can see, you're going to have a field of fire that looks right at you from somewhere. There is no safety in this room at all. So the best you could hope for is providing hard light barriers at the doorways, keeping guns pointed in every doorway that you see. Sorry, the name of the building is Foursquare. Anyway, sorry. I was talking, but my finger slipped off. Anyway, called Foursquare. This building can range in variations a lot. They sometimes have 2 doors. Sometimes they have 3 doors. Sometimes they have 4 doors. This one has 4 doors. They could also range in windows. It could have 2 windows like this one does. It could have up to 8 windows. So there's no uniformity in this building other than the fact that it is a square and that it gets very often used for a control point, but sometimes used as a go-between point. So it's a building in between 2 control points. Some people might say, and it could be argued, that the best way to defend this building is from the exterior. And some would say, no, the best way to defend it would be from the interior. Honestly, both are right and both are wrong. It depends on the specific variation of the Foursquare you have. There is a base that we, as an outfit, go to very often. Awful Pit on Amrish. 2 doors in. 4 windows. That Foursquare is impossible to defend from the inside. So that building you want to defend from the outside. Because you have lots of terrain, lots of trees, fallen down trees, and just lots of ways you can defend that Foursquare from the outside. This one is a little bit more typical of what you'll see at a control point. It can be defended from the inside probably very effectively. And probably from the outside, not so much. So it really depends on which variation of the Foursquare you have. The only commonality of the Foursquares is the decor. You'll have these cabinets that you'll see candy on top of. Those are very easy to get on top of, no matter if they're on the wall or if they're in the middle. Those cabinets are very easy to get up on, especially if you have an engineer that's willing to put down an infantry turret or a Spitfire. If you're really good at double jumping, you could use a wall. If you're a light assault, use your booster rockets. Those are very easy cabinets to get on top of. And the only other commonality between the 4 squares is that these tables, these desks, these control panels that I'm looking at, that's over to right by Helena in this corner. That's the only real commonality of this building, other than the fact that the building itself varies in design and access points. That's the only true commonality to this building. If you have a small version of this building, as someone mentioned in chat, it becomes very, very hard. Yes, the size of the 4 square varies in size, and it varies in doorways, and it varies in windows. But the common thing is that it's either very good to defend or very hard and impossible to defend. Unfortunately, it's a fight no matter which variation you have. Either the 4 square is going to be constantly getting attacked, or you're constantly going to be defending it. And you're attacking it from the outside, trying to get in here, or you're defending it and trying to keep the fighters on the outside, whether you're defending from the inside or the outside. It's a pain. It's one of the harder buildings in the game, design-wise, to defend. There's no benefit to the attacker or the defender over each other. It just really depends on which variation you have at that base. Yes, and very, very good point, Balbo. Expect a zombie fight. Because of the nature of the building, and just because it's one floor, multiple entrances, multiple access points like windows, you're going to have dead bodies here at some point during a push, and you're going to have resonades flying in from every possible direction, whether it be from inside itself or through the window, through the doorway, through 2 doorways, through 2 windows. I mean, you will have a zombie fight here, and it will be hellish for 30, 45 seconds, but know that the fight can be won regardless if you're on the attacking or on the defending side. All you need is communication, leadership, and cooperation between the squad members. And lucky for us, we have all 3 in spades in TG. Any questions about this 4 square?
We have one in squad chat.
Oh,
My apologies.
okay.
A question from Strength.
Go ahead, shoot.
The corners. I often wonder if I'm a fool to stand in the corner or if the corner is the best. Could you comment on the utility of the corner?
Yes, I can. The corners, like every other position in this room, there is no safe spot in this building. No matter what corner you go to, you can get shot from another direction. So Rim Midnight, where you are right now, where can you get shot from? Just look around where you are. Where can you get shot from? You can get shot from the window. Okay. Can you get shot from this doorway that Hydra's at? Yeah, pretty much. What about this doorway over here where Candy is? Oh no, you have the blocking of the cabinet. Good. So that's great. What about the corner where Arazine is at? Arazine, can you see any entrance points that you could be shot at? 2 doorways, three directions.
And a window.
VTS, we'll come to you last. And who's my last one? King Obvious. King Obvious over Platoon Chat. Where can you get shot from? Just look around.
That window where Bellhead is at.
Bellhead?
Which I think this is the only spot where it's only one spot you can get shot from directly.
Okay. And then VTS. From where you're looking, where can you get shot from? From the doorway where Candy is at. From the doorway next to Arazine. And see? So there's no safe spot in this room, as I just covered the 4 corners. The best you could hope for is coverage from most of your targets. So just literally going from one corner to the other and looking to see, is there any spot in here where I could get shot from one or two spots? And honestly, depending on the decor on the building, what they have inside, it'll vary from 4 square to 4 square. It's not uniform. So it's really just a turkey shoot in here.
Thank you.
No problem. That's why I personally hate this building as a personal defender, because there's too many variables. I can't ever plan a good solid defense of this building other than everybody watch a door, everybody watch a window. Don't move around, or don't pull your sight on somewhere else. You cover that window, cover it the whole time. Cover that door, cover it the whole time. There's no real other than that. I mean, maybe some more experienced squad leaders. Helena, is there an easier way to cover this building in your experience?
No, honestly. Get spread out and try not to have grenades take out all the medics at once.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for talking about grenades. The biggest danger to this room is proximity mines. Do not use them unless you're going to place them on the outside of the doorways. Do not place any explodable deployables inside this room, inside this building. Odds are you're going to take out friendlies with enemies, or you're just going to kill friendlies. So no C4, no tank mines, no proximity mines. If you want to use that stuff, put them on the outside. Put them on the outside of the doorway. Put them outside next to the doorway of the building next to us. Put it on the stairs that lead into the building. Things like that. You don't want to put any explosives inside this building because of the simple fact that there's too many access points. And we're doing so much moving around in here once we actually do get attacked that the likelihood of your explosive actually killing an enemy, and only an enemy, are literally under 2%. So don't do that. You're just literally going to kill the rest of us. Grenades, be very careful with any kind of grenade that does not impact or stick to your target. So EMPs are good. Sticky grenades are really good. Careful with all other grenades because they bounce. I'm not saying don't use them, because sometimes you need to use them, but be very careful with how you use them. Ordnance dampeners are very good in here as well. The sky shields at the doorways, caltrops at the doorways, hard light barriers at the doorways. That's all good stuff. Any other questions or comments about this building?
I would like to add that the weirdest variation of this building, Ceres Hydroponics, is it's got all that grass and stuff in it. That's a really dangerous room because cloakers can hide in the grass and then just pop out at any second. And it's happened to me so many times.
Ceres Hydroponics is on Indar, for those that don't know. It's directly north of Crown. That variation has 3 doorways, north, east, and south. There is no western door. Windows, I believe, if memory serves me right, is 1, which is on the east side. No window over there. No windows, 0 windows. And yeah, and control point in the middle. 3 gardens on southwest, southeast, northeast, and 2 cabinets are on the northwest. It's another variation of the 4 square, and again, there's no safety in that room. It's just, I'm sorry. I would love to say this is the best place to put yourself and defend from, but in the 4 square, if it's a straight square, no matter what continent you're on, no matter what base you're at, there's always somewhere you could get shot from in this building. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. Now, with that, we will move. Let me go ahead and wait these out. Let's start moving to our galaxies. They're on the south side, I believe. Platoon way. Bravo's on the north, so just go one or the other. Next building we will be heading to. Hold on. I covered L shape. Where's my L shape? 1 second.
Air station's got a bunch.
Sorry, say again?
I think Air station's got a bunch of them.
Oh, we have a full map now. Yeah, let's go to Cairn Station. It's over on the west, and let's go to Platoon Waypoint. Just 2 more buildings to go, which is an L shape and the watchtower. So we're almost done, guys. I know this training's gone on a little bit longer than I originally had intended, but I just want to make sure that I'm giving you this information. Again, all this information is going to be on the website. Just on the left-hand side, you'll see your directory. Click on training, then click on buildings, and you'll see the write-up there, as well as some great pictures with arrows. If you're into visualizing and seeing what the conversation, what the text is about, you'll be able to follow along with the pictures. But yeah, just more information for you to access at a later point in time when you're not in game.
Oh, there's people at Ceres. We're not Ceres at Karen now.
Okay, let's drop a platoon. Alright, so platoon waypoint building. We're going to start off on... let's see. I can't get to the roof right now. Let's go first floor exterior. And we'll go east side. Okay, so the L-shaped building very, very, very often will contain a control point. It's one of the buildings that gets used most often to house a control point. It has plenty of dangers, plenty of access points, and will always provide a good fight, whether you're on offense or defense. Obviously, doorways are going to be numerous. The L-shape can have on the first floor up to 6 doors. I will show them to you if you come inside. Where Hydro is 1. You'll see 2 and 3 right here. If you go down this hallway on the first floor, real quick, halfway down the hallway, you'll see in between the stairwell, you'll see this is what we call a nook. So it's somewhere where you could get some medics in there, get some engineers with some deployables, and have a quite defendable position here, suppressing both the south side as well as the north side. Moving on, we're going to head up to the north side, and on this, after the elbow, right here where Helena is at and VTS is at, this is the elbow, because this is the turning point. This is between the long side and the short side. So we call this the elbow. If you hear anyone ever say enemy beacon interior elbow, they're talking about the inside elbow, which is outside the first floor, this doorway where you see Hydra. I'm jumping right now. It's outside this door, right in this corner, right where Bellhade is at. That is the interior corner. So you definitely want to...
Interior elbow.
Interior elbow, sorry. My apologies. Interior elbow. But so if you look at the building
Take some
as an
ammunition.
arm, the elbow is where it flexes, where it bends. And the inside of it is going to be where the inside of that elbow is, which is why when it's called interior elbow, it's actually outside the building. So it's just giving you a general context of why we call it that. Anyway, on this side of the building, you'll see that there could be potentially 3 doors on the first floor. So as you can see, there's plenty of entrances into this into the ground floor. Obstacles or decor does provide some shooting lanes, some coverage, but it's pretty much going to be all manpower, meaning that you're going to have people here with your guns pointing at the doorways, trying to defend those doorways as best you can, whether it be on the short side, which is the side we're currently on, or if you head to the south side. The south side could be defended most easily from the nook, as well as from the stairwell. So, and the decor really doesn't change that much. There are some times that the control point will be on the first floor in the nook, and sometimes the control point is on the second floor, in between the two in between the 2 stairs along the wall, where who's this jumping? Arazine is jumping. Where Arazine is jumping and where Hydra is standing. On the second floor, sometimes there's a control point right here. Now, once you're on the second floor, there could be a window right behind Bellhade's head, which is in between the 2 stairs. It's very dangerous. It could be very problematic. And also, once you go around the elbow onto the short side of the L, you'll see another window that's closed off right by Sepatrix. That window is also problematic. It provides easy access to the second floor, and it could be a problem if 1 or 2 really good shooters gets their way in here. They could really hold down a defendable position by locking this short side to them and providing gunfire to anyone on the long side of the second floor. Usually at a control point or providing gunfire to the stairwell or to the opposite stairwell. Next thing I want to go over is balcony access. You see right here, right in front of Hydro, there's a door that's closed. And on the other side, which is the south side, there's a door that's open. This leads you to a balcony. Balcony can be very problematic, mainly because light assaults and because of airdrops, whether that be a Steel Rain, Galaxy, or Valkyrie drop. You could get enemy onto the balcony in any of those three ways, and they will make a fight out of your defense. So if you're defending, know that a major threat can come in through the second floor balcony. On the roof itself, there is some defendable mounds. The roof is kind of like, I can't really describe it, but it's flat and then it slopes down and then it is another little mound, if you will. So you could actually move across the roof and just crouch so that you could limit what part of your body is being shot, and it actually provides a very small target to the shooter. Problem is, you are highly susceptible to vehicle fire, whether that be air vehicles or ground vehicles that have any kind of arch, a bulldog, a fury. Sometimes a really good shot of a basilisk with that has no arch could pretty much snipe you from the top. So being on the roof is not the most advisable position to be on. But you do want to have a beacon either on the balcony or on the roof itself for this type of building. It provides the most utility. As for the inside of the building, defending it, depending on where the point is, if it's on the second floor, I would definitely build your defense at the control point. I would close off, I would have a baby gate, which is a hard light barrier at both stairwells. I would have people watching the balcony door if I only have one, or I'd have people watching both balcony doors if there's two. If there's only one balcony door, whoever I would have guarding the second balcony door, which is where Hydra's at, I'd have them on the short side of the L, either covering the second floor window or providing suppression fire over the rail to the first floor of the short side.
We might get to practice that here in a second.
Indeed. So this is, and it's always a great fight, guys. So, any questions about this building? Concerns, comments?
I do have one thing to add. In the biolabs over here at the on the north side, there's usually a elevator here to get up to the second floor.
Yes, sometimes in the biolab specifically, and sometimes in other triple stacks, right where let's see, who is this? I can't see.
Right here.
VTS, where he's using his jetpack. Sometimes there's an elevator right there. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason as to why or when it gets an elevator. Some triple stacks have them, some don't. But I believe most of the biolab triple stacks have them, but not all. Any other comments, concerns, questions?
Why is it called a triple stack when there's only 2 floors?
Oh, sorry, I keep
This is L shape.
Sorry, I keep on saying triple stack. It's an L shape.
Oh.
My bad. Because I wrote it out of order on my note sheet on my notepad, and I can't clearly have an arrow pointed as to where this should be inserted, and I just keep disregarding it.
Ammunition here.
Also, there's a triple stack right over there.
So yes, this is an L shape because the shape of the building is an L.
Take some ammunition.
I didn't know an ammo pack could sit on top of a hard light canopy.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, let's head over to platoon waypoint. It's right here on the base, and we're just gonna go there on foot. Okay, so as we're approaching this, everyone knows this building. It is a watchtower. As far as buildings goes, And this is probably the best defended and most secure type of building there is in the game, besides a base. And what is a base? There's only 3 bases in the game: an amp station, a tech plant, and a biolab. So if it's not one of those, this is the most defendable, most secure type of building. It has 5 floors and an exterior that is very complicated on every floor besides the first. Well, the first is complicated enough because that's where people come in. But so again, 5 floors. There are plenty of entrances. I can't even begin to tell you how many overall entrances from the outside there is to the inside of the building. Just know that on every floor there is more than 4 ways in. So in every floor that we go to, we're going to have more than 4 entrances. The watchtower usually contains your ground vehicle terminal. There's usually 1 equipment terminal, and that's usually opposite of the teleporter on the ground floor. The teleporter, if you don't know, is over here on the south side where Hydro is. This teleporter goes directly from the spawn room to the ground floor. But if you're going from the ground floor, it goes directly up to the 5th floor. The spawn room is on the 3rd floor. So if you're ever in the spawn room on the 3rd floor and you take the teleporter, it's going to bring you down to the 1st floor. If you immediately get back into the teleporter, it's going to put you on the 5th floor.
I never noticed. I never paid attention to the fact that there's 3 teleporters.
So we're back out in the vehicle driveway of the 1st floor right now. Once again, you're going to have 2 vehicle terminals up there where Helena is and where Goblin is. There is a base. I forget which watchtower it is and on which continent. But there is one base that has a control point right where Balbo is. But again, that's in the minority. There's typically not a control point on the 1st floor of a watchtower, other than that one example that I can't remember the name of the base. So again, we're going to take this step by step. We're going to go in through the interior, and we're going to go up the stairs. So once you go up the stairs, and you come out to this floor, this is the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor is a very, very interesting floor because sometimes there's an SCU, sometimes there's a generator, sometimes there's a control point, and that's usually always where Hydra's going, which is a small little square, small little room on the north side of this particular watchtower, in between south and east. Sorry, in between east and west. So north side, small little room. As you see on this base, there's an A point. Sometimes this is replaced with a generator. Sometimes this is replaced with an SCU, which is a spawn control unit, which is very important to know because if you ever want to take Crossroads down, you just have to take the 3 points on the outside, and then the SCU becomes vulnerable. And if you could get a strike team in here, they could disable this SCU. And then enemy cannot spawn in and defend that base. They have to bring in their spawns some other way, whether it be a Sunderer or Gal drops, Valkyrie drops, transports, or steel rains. So, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. So sometimes there's an SCU in here. Other thing about the 2nd floor is that if you follow Hydro, you can literally go around the outside of this whole floor and never be on the inside of this building, really. You're just kind of passing through the inside, really. And this is great because you could actually take a shooting position anywhere along the outside to provide gunfire to the exterior ground level, or, more importantly, provide gunfire and defendable positions from the outside into the SCU point generator room. It's actually very good to be on the outside. Problem is, you sometimes get light assaults. So you got to be aware of that. Sometimes you get people that drop down from the 3rd floor. Got to be aware of that. Sometimes there's people that throw C4 over the side, whether it be a light assault coming up or someone above you dropping C4 down. So if you're going to be in those side hallways, the exterior, the walkways, just be aware that you're not alone out there, and you could very easily have someone behind you without you knowing. Another great thing about this floor is there is a small little blind spot right here. When the enemy comes down from the floor above, sometimes they'll take the stairs and jump directly towards the A point. If you're crouched down in this position, they won't see you when they jump over the side, and then you immediately run right behind them, double tap to the head, boom, threat neutralized. You immediately come right back and resume your position right here. So this is a great little, small little spot that can provide a lot of kills if you're sneaky enough. Other two spots is where Tor Guardian is. That corner sometimes provides a great spot. And on the other side, Baobo is providing that same position, just mirrored on the other side. Sometimes they'll just jump immediately off of the third floor ramp and immediately start heading to the point. And they won't bother to look behind them and clear their corners. You could very easily just get an easy kill and just come up right behind them, just boop, boop, done. Go right back to your spot and wait for the next sucker. Another great thing about the second floor is the opposite side, south side. When you're on the south side, you actually have a much better chance of control. Not that you can't do it on the north side, good, but you have a better chance doing it on the south side because of the fact that you have these half walls that you can still see the stairwell, a full stairway, 2 levels of a stair. You can still cover the A point, which is also /SCU/Gen, and you have immediate access to the exterior walkway. So as long as you're keeping your head on a swivel, or at least more than one person with you, you could keep this area pretty much locked down as long as you're on your toes and know where your threats are going to be coming from. Alright, so that covers the second floor. We're moving up the stairs, and we're going up to the third floor. We're going to stay on the outside. Outside, you're going to see these 2 elevators. One, the purple beam goes down, the yellow one goes up. Just know that when you take the elevator up, it can put you on the 4th or 5th floor. And when you're taking the elevator down, you can't stop off on the 4th or the 3rd floor. There is a battle shield right opposite of the spawn room where Hydro is shooting, where Hydro is at and jumping. This kind of blast shield just kind of provides a little bit of extra cover to the spawn exit, if you will. This floor is also provides turrets. Usually it's anti-vehicle and anti-personnel, depending on the base. Sometimes they're all anti-vehicles, sometimes they're all anti-personnel. Sometimes there's 2 turrets, most of the time there's 4 turrets. And it also does provide an exterior walk around, just like this. I'm going to go inside on the other side, but if you just walk around the side. Now you'll also see this on the opposite side, which is now I'm on the south side. On the south side, you also have these elevators. As I mentioned, the elevators can drop you off on the 4th or 5th floor if you're going up, or if you're coming down on the 4th or 3rd floor where we're at. So it's a great way to get around this tower with a little bit of assistance. And the great thing about these elevators that you learn during your movement training is that you just have to be in the beam of the elevator just for a split second to get fall immunity. Fall immunity is a great way to kind of maneuver from the very highest levels of this tower to get to the ground floor exterior and take no damage. No fall damage at all. You just have to kind of bounce your way through either walk your way through the beam or jump your way through the beam. Either way, you just have to be in the beam for a split second and it gives you fall immunity. Fall immunity lasts roughly 5 to 7 seconds, I think. I don't think it really goes beyond that. So that's a great little tidbit there. Moving on, or moving around, we're keep on going counterclockwise. I am now currently on the east side of the tower, 3rd floor. Now, instead of going to the north, we're going to go right through the middle, through this blue shield. Now, as you see, this blue shield leads to a small section that is completely protected. These blue shields protect the spawner. Whoever is the controller of the base, it protects them. This is a little safe zone. So you can pop your head out both the west side, pop out east side, and shoot down some people. You could even pop out to directly to the north and go on the stairs, take the elevators on the opposite side. Or, more importantly, if you go south, you'll enter a small little room that has 2 elevators up. If you take the elevators up, you're now on the 4th floor. The 4th, and I mentioned earlier that the spawn room was on the 3rd floor. I apologize. Spawn room is on the 4th floor. So this is your spawn room. Very simple equipment terminal, spawn tube, and the teleporter. Teleporter, as I mentioned, will take, if you go from the spawn room, take the teleporter, you're going to end up on the ground floor. If you immediately go back into the teleporter from the ground floor, you're going to be on the floor above us. And then you can very easily just drop down from where Goblin is, and you'll be back on the 4th floor. Great thing about this floor is that you can actually head back out to the south right here. And you have a small little balcony. This small little balcony is very easy to farm if you are the attacker. All you have to do as an attacker... Hold on, I gotta stop talking. Actually, Septrix, be my guinea pig. Take the lift, but land on this that little platform over there. There you go. Septrix, where he is right now, he can annihilate people just immediately coming out of this and taking one of the 2 elevators. And it's overlooked, so easily overlooked by everyone that comes out here. So you can get a lot of kills if you want to be sweaty and just take care of some people that may not be aware of that. I ain't gonna lie, I've done it in the past too. I'm sure everyone's gotten a kill or 2 up there. But another great thing about this spot, it gives you access to the elevators, both down and both up. So from this position, I'm just going to go ahead and go up, and then I'm going to land on the 5th floor. Now the 5th floor, we're going to go out to the air pads real quick. The 5th floor is great because it provides 4 air pads, all at the 4 corners of your building, whether it's north, south, east, west, or like this one, northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. It'll provide 4 air pads. You can do a lot of damage from the air pads, whether it's anti-vehicle rockets, decimators, annihilators. You can defend from the air, because on this floor you also have the anti-aircraft turrets if your watchtower has it. You can land galaxies. You could do airdrops directly onto the air pad. You could also provide a light assaults, easy access to the antenna array, which is where Balbo is. The antenna array itself has 5 different levels that you could kind of be on. I'm not gonna go up there and show you all 5 levels. Just know that if you're a light assault, there are 5 different levels of that antenna array that you could actually potentially set up and do some damage from. From the very tip where he is right now, you can set up a beacon, or anywhere down along the antenna array to basically these little legs that I'm shooting right now that are right above the doorways. You could even stay right up there and do some damage and people coming out of the main tower. Other than that, the air pads and the turrets, you have your air terminals. You have your elevators that brought you up here. And another great thing about this, as it was just shown, I'm on the current north side. No, where am I? I'm on the north side. If you come over to the north side, and there's another set of elevators, you could easily use this this elevator pad, I guess, this ramp. You don't even have to touch the elevator to get onto this little ramp that Septrix was originally on to shoot the enemy. You can just jump directly from here and just go over there and just shoot people from there. If you do take the down elevator, you could use the fall immunity again. I would personally recommend the up elevator, so that way you can get a little thrust forward as well. The down elevator does give you the fall immunity as well, but it's bringing you down already. You can't really get much forward thrust out of it. If you take the up elevator, you can get forward thrust and actually still have the fall immunity. So if you're ever looking to get fall immunity, I would recommend always using the up elevator, which is a yellow beam, over the purple beam, although they will both provide fall immunity. And then inside the tower, 5th floor, is very basic. There's usually no decor in the interior. You do have a protected zone. You'll see the blue shields guarding each of the exits. You'll see one elevator going down to the 4th floor, which is the spawn room. And you'll also see an up elevator going through a one-way shield, which is the spawn room as well. You'll have a teleporter here. And again, when you're taking the teleporter from the 5th floor, it brings you directly down to the 1st floor. And if you turn around immediately and take the elevator back, it brings you right back to the 5th floor. It'll never take you back to the spawn room. The spawn room one is the only one that is the only teleporter in this tower that is a one-way. And the teleporter in the spawn room is a one-way from 4th floor to 1st floor. You can't ever spawn into the spawn room. So the best you could do is spawn up, take the teleporter to the 5th floor, and then from 5th floor, just take the little elevator down, and boom, you're in the spawn room. That's the easiest and quickest way to get back into the spawn room. And then once you're done, you can go get back in the elevator and come back up. And boom, you're back on the 5th floor. That pretty much concludes the watchtower. As I mentioned at the beginning, every single floor contains at least, at the very minimum, 4 entry points. Whether that be a rail over the side, whether it be a doorway from the outside, whether it be a stairwell coming up from another floor or an elevator coming down from a floor, a very minimum of 4 ways onto that floor. So, and most of the floors on a watchtower provide, I don't know, 6 to 8 entries. And I'm considering the light assault over a rail as 1 entry, no matter what side it's on. So it still provides a lot of entry into this tower. But, as I said at the beginning, it's also the most defendable. If you could hold your enemy on the 1st floor, you're doing a great job. If you could hold your enemy on the 2nd floor, you're still doing a good job. If you hold your enemy at the 3rd floor, you might be losing that battle a little bit. You may need to dig in a little bit. If you lose the 3rd floor and you're defending from up top, from the 5th, because you can't do any real defense from the 4th. As later when you have time, walk around the 4th. There are no ledges. There's no catwalk on the outside. All there is a ledge to the arms that are supporting the air pads, and the ledge that overlooks the spawn room back door. There's no actual walkway around the 4th floor, so you can't defend it. So if you're defending this tower from the 5th floor, the tower's lost. You need to push into the tower again from the ground floor, because you're not going to win it top down. And that's pretty much it for the watchtower. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything that I might have missed?
Good
Yes.
job.
I would like to add that all the shields are one way, so you don't have to actually poke yourself out. You can just stand behind them.
But I believe all watchtowers you can pull any vehicle from, so that's fun.
Yep.
Oh, I did cover the gun deck. The gun deck was back on floor number 3. Floor number 3 sometimes has anti-vehicle and sometimes anti-personnel guns. Floor number 5, which is where the flight pads are, will contain your anti-aircraft guns. Usually 2 on the anti-aircraft guns. On the 3rd floor, you could either have 2 or 4 turrets.
Hey guys, I'm back from eating.
And yeah, I think I covered that, but thank you for the reminder,
Yeah,
so I could restate.
Good job, everybody, on the alert. 45% for the NC.
I know we're so good at this game.
Any questions about any of the buildings that I covered during this training, guys? I know we're coming up on 2 hours, which, again, I'm sorry. I honestly only thought it was going to take like an hour, but in practice it took 2.
I'll just add breaching ground level into a tower. You have a lot of options, some less good than others, but also a vehicle ramp on each side that could be both useful and a death trap.
Yeah, let's go over that real quick. Everyone take the elevator down to the first floor.
Teleporter.
Yep, teleporter. And immediately make a right outside of the teleporter. So we're on the ground floor exterior. This doorway, for what I would think would be fairly obvious reasons, is not the best way in. So if you're going to do a breach and you see this teleporter shield right there in front of you, know that no matter how many bullets, explosives, grenades you throw at that thing, you're not going to get any target behind that shield. They're going to have free reign to shoot you, and you can't do a dang thing to them. This
Also,
is not
I think we're all in a restricted area.
Yes, and as you're running through, it will be restricted, but you'll just be running through. But if you see that shield, you're on the wrong side of the tower. So where I'm going to show you the right side, let's run through the tower and go to the complete opposite side. And once you're on the northern side of the tower, when you take a quick peek inside, you see no shield. So this is the correct side. So if you're here, this is where you want to do your breach.
But it won't always be the north side.
No. It won't always be in the north side. Sometimes it's the east, sometimes it's south. It just depends on the layout of the tower, which way it's facing.
Just look for a door that doesn't have a big panel in front of it.
Yeah, and you can usually see that on approach. So if you're a squad leader or leading a fire team, just be sure to approach from either side of the door, not directly head on. So that way you could at least see what's on the inside of your doorway. If you see the driveway, or I don't even know what term it, the space, not the spawn of the vehicle, but the drive-through. If you see the drive-through, then you're on the good side. If you see the blue shield or a wall, you're on the wrong side.
Does it always have the wall here?
The wall opposite the doorway? Yes.
Yes.
Wall outside the door?
Yes, if you're outside the door and you're looking inside and you're looking directly in, there's always a wall here.
We've locked down Hassan. Great job, everyone.
Yeah.
The only other breach points I would say would be a more complicated breach, which would be either the west side or east side. And again, if you do a breach this way, you're just... you have a lot of areas that you need to protect yourself on your breach. Because as soon as you turn this corner and you're into the vehicle drive-through, you have the 2 stairs on the left as well as the platform on the left where the vehicle terminals are that you can get shot from. You have the opposite stairwell, which has a railing, which is also a place where you can get very shot from. So it's very difficult. And same thing on the west side. You have the same exact thing, just mirror image. So if you're on the west side and you're breaching through, you have the opposite railing stairs. You have the vehicle stairwell as well as the vehicle platform.
Take some
that
ammunition.
is going to take some pod shots at you as soon as you turn this corner and go in. The only last input that I had is the vehicle exits. Both sides of this tower. Sometimes the towers only have 1 vehicle terminal. Most have 2. If you're coming in from this side and you immediately have the vehicle terminal, vehicle ramp to your right or to your left, depending on which way you're coming in, you can actually use that as a safe zone. I wouldn't bring a whole squad through here because someone is going to go ahead and walk through the middle of this vehicle pad, and that's going to kill them just like it killed me. Medic. So walking on the vehicle pad is never a good thing. No medic?
She's coming.
Thank you. But if you stay to the sides, you can't survive a vehicle pull. And again, I would not recommend this. Don't bring a squad through here because you're literally asking for half your squad to die because someone will be on the pad. Trust me. I've been playing this game for 12 years. You're going to lose somebody on the pad because either they just wanted to run across, thought they could get across, saw no threat, or just wasn't aware and they weren't paying attention. You're going to lose somebody. I wouldn't take a full squad through here. But you can take a small fire team and maybe put up an infantry turret and then billy goat your way over the wall. I've seen that done. If you're a light assault, I can see you using your booster pack to get over the vehicle terminal and then pull a Sunday or something. So not ideal. I wouldn't recommend it. I would just take a few more steps and go in through the vehicle drive-through, which is where Hydro is right now. This is a much safer approach to get inside this building. I would never, ever recommend going through the vehicle. Any other topics, suggestions, questions, anything? All right. Well, with this continent being closed, guys, I don't have anything further on the training. I've given you, hopefully, some terminology that you were not aware of. Hopefully, I've given you some situational awareness of buildings that we're constantly in and constantly fighting in. Hopefully, I've pointed out some weak points to the buildings that you might not have been aware of, or maybe you were aware of one but wasn't aware of another thing. Hopefully, it provided just some information to you in some way, shape, or form that will make your Planetside life a little bit better and easier, working with a group of like-minded individuals like you are now. So with that, I conclude this training, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I had a pretty nice turnout. I had 14 people here total, and for my first training in TG, I had a blast sharing this information. I have plenty of other trainings that will be coming down the pipe in future weeks and future months. But for my first one, I wanted to make sure that everyone had some situational awareness along with the previous trainings that were already given of movement as well as breaching. I thought the building layout at this point was a perfect way to not only re-solidify what you had already learned in those trainings, but also to show you where those some of those things could be best implemented on. So thank you again. Hopefully I succeeded in all that. And I have rambled for plenty of time. I'm going to have a nice little swig of soda.
Thanks so much, Hydro.
Nice job, Hydro. Thanks for doing this.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for putting it together.
Thank you, Hydro.
You're all
well
very
done.
welcome.